Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to another Tribe Forex Power Hour. I am Marcello, and with me is Nino, a pro Forex trader. Today is March 10th, 2014, and we're going to do today what we've done for years, which is an analysis of the markets and evaluation of our strategies, which are based upon the 5 p.m. Eastern Time close of our daily bars. Thereafter, we're going to finish our daily market analysis, talk about trades that we may have been in. So let's talk about how it works really quickly. Nino, how are you, first of all? Thank you very
Hey
much for making the
Marcello,
call
I'm great.
again. All
Hi
right,
Marcello, I'm great.
good to have you on. By the way, guys, Nino does a uh, daily trade room on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we have a day trading room on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 a.m. Eastern Time and also at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. So it's basically 1 to 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time and then 8 to 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So if you have those times available to you, get in there because they have been making big pips using our biases. So let's talk about how we make money. What is our formula for success? Really, basically after 5 p.m. Eastern, we determine what the bias of the market is using the daily candles. Okay, so we've got two ways to determine what that bias is. What is a bias really? A bias is the probability of price moving up or down. So if we have a buy bias, there's a greater probability that price is going to move up than down. Okay, so there are two ways to execute our bias. Number one, you can take a set and forget it trade. Okay, that means that we set a trade at the end of the day, and we don't look at it again until the end of the next day. Or two, we day trade in the direction of our pods, which are our points of decision. If you don't know what that is, simply log into tribeforex.com. If you look at the top menu, you will see that we have a free complimentary trading course for any of you who want to know what a pod is. And of course, you can join Nino to be able to further explore that and see how he actually executes using the pods to leverage bigger profits and bigger trades. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the market. We try to get this thing done in 15 minutes or less. So excuse me if I am running through this. All right, so guys, basically we had this consolidation here. We had a consolidation in the market here. I'm looking at the pound dollar first, by the way. So this is the pound dollar. We had a consolidation in the market. And then finally, looks like we have had a drop in the market. That was yesterday. Actually, I don't want to do that. Which would have been Monday Asian session. All right. So this is basically our trend line. We had basically a breakout of this pennant here. And guys, let's not forget that we initially had and I must be looking at the wrong one. Great, here it goes. All right, so we initially had a channel. So if you look here above, you'll see this channel here in aqua and a channel below as well. And so we're in this channel. So we've got a trend line above, a trend line below. That is our support and resistance. That is encapsulating price. So price is bouncing off the top down to the bottom, bouncing off the bottom and springing up. Okay, and that's what's happening there. All right, so we have basically had a consolidation for the last few days, and we reached and had a reversal candle here form, and then you can see that price just broke through. So I'm going to go back to my other chart here. I think we can see it a little bit more clearly. And okay, so basically we're bouncing off the lower Bollinger Band at this point. So let's take a look at what we do have. So we're bouncing off the Bollinger. We've got the 38.2 fib. We've also got a 23.6, it looks like, fib right under that. We've broken through, though, our channel here. So what does it look like for us? What are we looking for now? Where's price most likely to go? So let's see. That's 10. And we're still in the consolidation. The only difference with any other day is that we're actually at the beginning of the month. We have non-farm payroll just last Friday, so we could very well see a continuation here. So there are a couple ways that this could go. We have passed areas of support and resistance, but we're bouncing off other areas of support and resistance. We did have a breakthrough of flag here. We could see price retrace and really test this upper area with this 23.6 and this upper trend line, or this trend line here, this resistance trend line converge. Okay, so we could see price movement in there, and we could see price break really bounce off of 16700, 1.6700, and look for a move down from that point on the pound dollar. So what's my call here? I want to call, I feel like I can't call, I would usually just call a sell here, but we have so much support right under it, the 38.2, the 23.6. You can see these two yellow lines here. Okay, we also have the Bollinger Band that it's just bouncing off of, and for that reason, it's hard for me to call a sell on this. I do think that we've got enough room for a price to move up, so we may bounce off that Bollinger and actually move back up a bit, back to 166.92 first. So actually, I'm going to look for that. Right now, I'm not going to call a pound. I'm going to hold on to that and really look at some of these other trades that we do have in these other currency pairs. All right, so euro dollar. So yesterday my euro dollar call was a sell, just because we had this beautiful reversal candle at the previous highs. Okay, if you look across here, right here, that was our previous high. That was December 2013, and we're really intersecting that area right now again. So two things can happen here. We've actually got 2 points here. We could actually draw a a flag here. It's this tiny little one where we could see price bounce off 138.84 and really head down to the lower area of support, which this was an earlier area of support, so it's a secondary area. It's not so strong, but that would be our first area to be looking for support there, 138.29. We're going to have to wait and see, guys, where price goes from here, but for the time being, we've got this reversal candle. We're at previous highs. If we do not see price react favorably to a sell here on the euro dollar, we're going to have to step off of it and not look for a sell there. We're going to be looking for a buy there. For the time being, I think I'm going to hold that sell just because we don't really have a ton of other information. We do have a Bollinger right below it. You can see the Bollinger 80, but we haven't touched it yet. We have this trend line here. It's going to intersect at 38.82, and we have hit the previous high going back to December of 2013. So that's just 3 months ago. All right, so we're going to be looking for price action from here. Price breaks the high, then you know where price is going. More likely, it's going to continue to move to the upside. For the time being, I'm going to go ahead and call a sell for now. Okay. I may actually have to revise that, guys. I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at this dollar Swiss. And this dollar Swiss actually looks quite different. So let's talk about what we're seeing on this dollar Swiss. And the dollar Swiss and the euro dollar actually have an inverse correlation. So sometimes you see things more clearly on the dollar Swiss than you do on the euro dollar, and that's the one to go with. So here we actually see some of these. You see price movement a little bit better here on this dollar Swiss. And what we do see is that there was this support area, and it held for quite some time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touches. That was back in December. And that trend line dates back all the way to February of 2013. Okay, so over a year ago. And you can see that price tested it here, came back up. It was tested again down here, came back up. And then finally tested again lastly on this last bar, and then really we had a firm break. Now, what's interesting about this, guys, is that price tried to break through, knocked on that door, and the door was slammed in its face, if you will. I wouldn't say slammed in its face, but definitely wasn't open. So basically, we tested this lower area of which was before support and is now resistance, and price retracted and actually closed below this this zone here. Okay, now what does that tell us? After so many confirmations of price and how the market reacted to it, let me just do one more thing here. Yeah, even looking at that. So price tested it and it closed below that area, and for that reason we've got to be looking for a sell on the dollar Swiss. Now that generally means a buy on the euro dollar. And on the day, guys, I would like to remind you that we only had 32 pips of movement on this dollar Swiss, so it's really wanting to do something here. We could see a massive reentry back into the zone. The probability, though, is that we're more likely to see a sell on this dollar Swiss, continuation to the downside on the dollar Swiss. Keeping that in mind, it actually goes with our pound dollar buy assessment, if anything. All right, let's take a look at the New Zealand. New Zealand, same thing, nice reversal candle. It's close to highs. It's close to the highs. We did have a breakout here. Price did, although we had a reversal candle at highs, we can see that price didn't really didn't move down. It really didn't. It would have a solid sell usually on this New Zealand dollar if it went to move down, especially after a breakout like that. You would want to be intentional about that, and it wasn't. So for that reason, I'm not going to call a sell on this, actually. Right now, we've got to look at consolidation movement, 1, 2, 3 bars on the inside of each other, and I can see us getting back up to 85.11. And guys, I may not be. I mean, these are not the strongest signals I've ever had. To be honest with you, I cannot tell you that these are the strongest signals that I've ever had. On the Aussie dollar here, the Aussie dollar, we have. We had a gap down, price filled the gap, and then closed low. Okay, so we closed below the 90.50 area. It's about 90.00, and you can clearly see that we have a very strong area of support right under here. And this was what we used before to determine where price was going. So we had 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 touches before price moved up. So it's a very, very strong trend line. It's a very strong support area, and it actually is intersecting with the 50 EMA. What does that mean for us? So 89.86 is basically our ground here as far as how far the Aussie dollar can go. And I don't have a call on it. I just think that price can come back down and really hit this trend line at 89.85, which is about 37 pips away. All right, so that's something to think about. You could see a sell there on the Aussie dollar. And I usually like to see price. I usually like to see price really confirmed in the other pairs, and that's not happening today. So the euro yen, same thing. We've got an inside bar. It's not really showing us where price wants to go here at all. We had a gap down and move back up, close of the gap, and a close high here on the euro yen. And so I'm just going to think of this as consolidation as well. So I do have consolidation movement here on the euro yen. Dollar yen, same exact movement. We're inside of that flag, guys. We came right back in it, and we're inside the flag. So, 103.47 is where we could see a bounce off of and really move down from there. resistance support. And the pound yen, we had a sell-off on the previous day. Price closed above 171.77. No really clear signals, guys. I can honestly say that. There's not a ton of clear signals here for us. I think there's a lot of support under the pound dollar. So let's see where price goes here. I think we could see price. I think we could see a pound dollar buy, euro dollar buy, dollar Swiss sell. Now that I see it, New Zealand. I think we could see a. Inevitably, I think there's a buy on that New Zealand, although we could see price retrace back down to the trend line, so I'm not going to call that. My Aussie dollar, I think we could see price bounce off of this area, so the best I can call is a 37 pip sell bias there. And that's about it, guys. I actually don't have a lot today, which is surprising. Usually I would have a lot more after a non-farm payroll. That's what I look for. We did have a trend line. That was nice. Trend line breaks. We did have some nice reversal candles, but we had no real movement in the market after those reversal candles. We had a nice breakout here on the pound dollar, but we're bouncing right off the Bollinger, 38.2, the 23.6 of the previous move as well. It's a tremendous amount to overcome here on the pound dollar for the sell side. But we'll see. I mean, if we had, we could actually see the pound dollar move down. Now, I'm not completely opposed to that because, as we've seen before, we're in a channel. We've already hit the top of the channel. We've just come out of a consolidation. We may see price really retest the low at 165.10, and we're currently at 166.50. So, keep that in mind as well. I think the day could see a retest of this upper limit at 166.97. And so that's what you can look for there. So what are my calls? I think a pound dollar buy, maybe a euro dollar buy. Dollar Swiss is the only one that I think I have for today as far as the bias is concerned. I think that I have a dollar Swiss sell. And so I think that may be the call and the one to play. Why do I think a dollar Swiss sell? Because I have these trend lines and the market continually responds to these trend lines. There it goes. The market's responding to these trend lines, and this is where the trend line is. So if you see this, price is going to move up, maybe hit this 87.84. It's already tested it. You can see that it went right above it, hit our 200 moving average, and came back below it. Is there a ton of movement there? There's not a ton of movement there, but that's what happened. So if we get a retest of this, I think we could see a sell on the dollar Swiss. And this is clearly, the market reacting to that trend line there, where that dollar Swiss sell is. So that's all I got for you. I know that it's not extremely clear for you, but I would dare say that if I were going to try anything, and if I were going to try my luck, I'd probably just try this dollar Swiss to be certain. And I think that maybe after tomorrow, we may have more clear signals for us to be able to take trades on. Of course, we're here from Monday to Thursday, so I think that we'll have more to talk about during this week because we generally see movement in the market and we see clearer signals right after non-farm payroll. So let's see how that all shapes up for us. Having said that, Nino and I are out of here. We'll see you in the next edition of the Tribe Forex Power Hour. Thanks, Nino, for being on the call as always. Is there anything you want to add before I go, actually?
No, nothing really.
Yeah, it's not a ton, not a really strong signal there for us, is it?
Yeah, but like you said, on the euro dollar, we have to basically see how our price is set up around our pods when it reaches up to the high, right up to that trend line and around of previous high. So we might get a signal there. We can get maybe a sell-off there. Who knows? Maybe 30 pips, 20 pips before maybe it bounces to Bollinger and goes back into a buy. So we just have to watch it at those key areas, like you said.
Yeah, well said. Guys, if you have the opportunity, you have a really awesome opportunity to trade with Nino. So be there Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern time and 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time. He's going to pull something out. He's a magician in this market. He just pulls it out. It's really amazing. So you're going to want to stick around and watch that and get and glean whatever understanding you can in the market, so that you can become that caliber trader. So with that, guys, we will see you tomorrow. All the best. Bye-bye.